Hey, it's Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the People. I earned that nickname because I love working for the fans. So if you ever have questions for me, for players, for coaches, please let me know. I love doing that, answering questions for you all tonight. So today is the first day that I'm going to have my Ask Me Your Carolina Panthers questions. It's a series that I do each season once the regular season gets started to really just give everybody a chance to ask me your questions. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you want to talk about regarding the Carolina Panthers. And today, obviously, we're going to be talking about the matchup that took place yesterday, Cleveland Browns versus the Carolina Panthers, in which we lost a close one, 26-24. In just a second, I'm going to bring on my man Dave, that is gracious enough to give me some of his time from Panther Nation Podcast, also known as PNP. So tonight, he and I will tackle all your questions and have some fun and hopefully keep you feeling optimistic about this Carolina Panthers team. Also, I forgot, almost excited to have Dave on. I forgot to say, hit the subscribe button, please. So we just got to 5,000 subscribers. We want to get now to 10,000, but I'm not going to put the 10,000 on you guys yet. First, I'm just going to say, let's go ahead and try to get to 6,000 now. Continue to grow. The bigger I grow, the more I can do for you guys. And let me see if I can magically hit this button and get my man Dave on. Did the button work? Oh, you're not even ready yet, huh?
I'm ready. My wife was in here talking to me, man.
How the wifey doing?
She doing good. I was looking at assignments and stuff. You saw me like shuffling papers.
I did, but I mean, I know that you're so talented. I'm like, he doesn't need much of a heads up, man. I can just get it going and he'll be ready.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Hey, Dave, I'm gonna use the view which has you having to be in the center of your camera a little bit more than maybe you might be useful to. Let me know if that becomes a nuisance, and we can go to the wider view. But hey, so also I want to announce that I haven't done it all off season, and for this show I always bring in you guys, everybody that's watching. You know, it's kind of like radio meets TV. So I'm gonna get this link together right now and try to copy to the clipboard. See if I can. I don't know how to pin the comment. Let's see.
Yeah. There's echo on my mic, man. So.
Oh, you know what? There's echo because of me.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to check. I only have one. It's weird, but it looks.
Nah, it's all because of me. Like, they know that I be having my preseason mistakes, so
you got to put the headset on.
I got to put the earpiece in. I'm not even going to try to hide it today. You guys can see the earpiece. The echo will go away in just 1 second. It's not Dave, it's me. You know, I'm used to that in relationships. It's not you, it's me. So give me just a second. And
That's what happens, man.
I get this echo to go away. Y'all know my story. The story is, your boy's been struggling since he got married, got kids, and continue to have more kids and try to do this, but I'm going to make it. Say something, Dave. Let me make sure I can hear you in my earpiece.
All right. Okay, you good?
I'm going to turn it up just a little bit.
Okay.
So again, my fault for the echo, Look, I had to skip out on dinner tonight, so let me just say thank you to the wonderful, beautiful Mrs. Jenkins that is allowing me to miss dinner tonight to come here and do this show on time. I appreciate her support, her love, and our beautiful children that she is downstairs taking care of. Love you.
Does she watch?
She does watch. She's not watching now because she's taking care of the kids. They're eating, but
at least she watches. I'm pretty sure my daughter might occasionally watch, but it's a safe bet that nobody else is watching.
Well, you know, maybe we can get them to change their tune and watch us here. But let me see if I put it out here. Let me properly label this so you guys can know to join us. Let's see, click here to join us and ask questions. All right, so I'm getting this together, putting this post out there, and I'm thinking if I hit this button here, it doesn't give me the ability to pin it. I guess I got to go somewhere else to pin it. All right, so look at the comments. I guess I'll just maybe throughout the show continue to put that comment out there to let people click on it. There's a link. Love if you leave questions or comments on the screen, but love it even more if you want to join us via video. Come online, ask us your question, and we love to talk to you about it. Let me also say, since Dave is on here, I had wanted Panther Nation podcast to be on the show last week, but again, y'all know my life. It is not their fault. That's why I had to beg them to come back on tonight. First, it was going to be on.
Honestly, Rashad reached out. By the time I saw the text, it was already after 7:30, and I said, "Let me hop on right now," and the show was over. So show was over. Because the thing is, when I'm at work, man, like I always don't have access to my phone, and most of the time, if I'm trying to scramble to get out the door, I just grab everything and just hit the road and get home.
Yeah.
So when I got home and settled in, I looked at my phone. I'm like, "Oh, too late now."
But you know what? If
I'll take some of the hit.
Had to gave you guys the proper notice and stuck with the original date. I went from like a Monday at 7, then like a Wednesday, and then I don't know, I think I might change the time. But anyway, I'm getting it together.
Yeah, like I know Rashad's in school now, so he can't. Like we moved P&P to 9 p.m. now because of it.
Have y'all said why he's in school, or we can talk about that offline?
Nah, I mean, he out here. It's funny because he goes to UNC now and he's a big Duke fan, so now he has to convert. So it's fun to watch.
So we need to film him walking to class and just chant.
No, he good. I stayed at his house over the weekend for Aggie Eagles, so he had the shirt in full effect.
Hey, Dave, I don't like to get too political and everything, but tell me this: why do we, as in the city of Charlotte, in my opinion, be charging unfairly for certain events that come to the city? Why are we doing that? The game last week, I guess it was the Mayo Classic, right? That was last week.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go down. Okay, I had to go downtown and park, and I wasn't going to that event, and I was downtown, but I wasn't. Man, I don't know. I had to be looking at the map. I'd say I was maybe 7 blocks away. Like I couldn't even see the stadium. It's not close. The parking for me that night, and I could not even see the stadium. It probably would have been easily a 15-minute walk. Was $40. $40.
But I knew something was up when I saw that the lots that were close to the stadium were 50.
And yesterday, when I went to the Cleveland Browns game, parking at the Westin was $30. That's 2 blocks away. That's nice parking. I mean, that's a parking deck. You got to cover. I was like in a gravel parking deck, which, anything could happen to your car. I mean, that could technically happen anywhere, but just a 1-level parking deck, gravel, $40.
All I'm going to say is this. Who controls the parking prices? That's on the businesses more than the city, right?
It's the businesses, but the city could deter that. I mean.
Yeah, that's on the city to do. If enough folks complain about it, that'll be a good beef. Because listen, that's why they lost CIAA.
Hotel prices were absurd.
That's why I didn't stay in a hotel. Why stay in a hotel when I know somebody I can crash?
Okay.
I had nowhere. If Rashad said he wasn't going to be in town, I had every intention of going back and forth from my parents' house in Columbia. I was not paying. I wasn't happening. I had every intention to go back and forth to Columbia every day.
Hey, well, I see that we got Taylor that's already jumped on. So, our format for the show is just to have a lot of fun, talk Carolina Panthers, give you some opinion. By the way, if you are not familiar with Panther Nation podcast, you should be. But if you're not, Dave is on, and there's a link in the description for you to click on, support their channel, help get them to 20,000 subscribers. Heck, get them to 50,000, right? Please continue to support everybody that I have on the show. YouTube sports stuff is a lot of work. And they put in a tremendous amount of work. So at least if you can support them with a little subscription, that will be plenty helpful. Taylor, give me a thumbs up if you're ready for me to bring you on. Okay, he's giving me the thumbs up. So let me try to bring you on. Let me change the view here so we don't be all scrambled. Taylor, if you don't mind, go ahead and say what your question is, and then we'll take you off and answer the question. What you got?
I was thinking, I feel like there's been a lot of negativity towards the team as of late, and it's much deserved. And an L is an L, no matter how you look at it. And there's a lot of the problems we were facing is still prevalent. But something about this loss, because it really should have been a dub. Like, this loss doesn't feel like any of the losses we felt a couple of years. This felt like, we were competing with a really good defense. And what do you think, I didn't watch any of your guys' podcasts yet or any other of your reviews, but do you guys think there's a lot more hope that we can still manage to be more competitive than last season, or is it still just going to be more of the same?
All right, Taylor, I appreciate your question, man. I hope you continue to. Hey, we don't mind that you didn't check it out yet. Just as long as you make sure you check it out before, I don't know,
Yep.
better late
Well,
than never.
we're breaking down the game tonight. On Mondays after a game, we break it down. We did a post game show just to get a little bit of the event out, but now we're gonna dig a little deeper tonight at 9 p.m. So check us out, Taylor. Appreciate the question. Now, as for your question, I think everybody is talking about how great the Browns defense is, and I'm not denying how good the Browns defense is. But, they still had Jacoby Brissett starting, and I think Jacoby Brissett is a good backup quarterback. But I say that as he is a backup quarterback. We couldn't figure out a way to get to the backup quarterback and take advantage of that. And I think the first half, like people were talking about how the game ended in the final drive. Well, I think we need to talk about more about how lethargic we were on the first half because it was not where it needed to be. Like I think we only got like 3 first downs total, and I think 2 of them were because of penalties, if I remember correctly. So
Yeah, Dave.
for me, it's like, we're talking about, having some level of hope, but me and Rashad has been pretty much saying it all season, all off season. We got the talent to win games with this team, but I'm more concerned about the coaching. The coaching has to be where it needs to be. There were some positives that happened yesterday too, so I don't want to be all super negative, but
So in terms of hope, which I think that was part of his question, like should we have hope? I certainly have not lost any hope because of what Dave touched on. The roster is much improved over last year. And we also have a coaching staff that supposedly is improved. I say supposedly because I really didn't like the things that Ben McAdoo did yesterday. I feel like he certainly deserves some of the blame for how that offensive play calling went in that first half that put us in the hole. But I feel like there's still enough new coaching faces on the team that when they're all sitting down talking about the loss, again, Steve Wilkes can come to mind. He's been a head coach only for 1 year, but he's been a head coach, another guy that can say, hey, we might want to change how we come out and do some things so that they can have a more balanced attack for an entire 4 quarters. But I do, for me, I put the coaching at blame for the slow start and should have made some adjustments, should have made some changes to give these guys a better chance. I mean, yeah, Baker struggled early on with some of the passes being batted down, some of the drop snaps, but why not give him the luxury that we all talked about of one of the greatest guys in the NFL right now, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, when he did get the ball, each time in the game, it was still like you saw so many opportunities for something to happen. And then also if you involve him in the game, regardless of how good the defense may be playing at the time, you will give yourself that much more time for them to react because they're wondering, what is Christian going to do? But when you take him out of the game, you're not going to get that. We do get to play the New York Giants this Sunday in New York, a chance for some redemption against a team that should be considered a marginal team. I think we opened as an underdog, right?
They looked good against the Titans, bro.
Yeah, they did. They did. We're an underdog right now,
funny,
though, right?
Huh?
We're an underdog.
I haven't checked the line yet, but I'm not shocked that we're underdog because we're on the road, and typically the home team gets 3 points off that alone.
Yeah.
But here's the big thing about the Giants. They ruined my parlay bet. I had them as one of my parlays. I picked the Titans to win that game in the money line, and they ruined it. They ruined my parlay bet. I'm very disappointed.
That's another thing you guys do, right? You do that, Dave, as far as some fantasy or gambling as well on the channel.
Yeah, we do some daily fantasy type of stuff on the channel as well, and season long fantasy. I do a fantasy show every Tuesday during the season, and a Sunday Q&A prior to kickoff to answer fantasy questions prior. But nah, man, like I think the Giants are. I anticipate the Giants are going to be better with a better head coach, anyway. But the fact that they came out there and beat the Titans, man, that was a big win for them.
Yeah.
So now we got them next week. So now, like at first, I thought this Cleveland game without Deshaun Watson playing should be a win, and I thought the Giants game was going to be a win. But now, I'm nervous now because it all depends because it always comes down to coaching. And I think people wanted to argue with me on Twitter yesterday about the refs, and I was like, look, man, I don't disagree that those were terrible calls, but we shouldn't have gotten it to the point in the first place. And even some of the players said that.
Oh yeah,
Shaq Thompson said that.
Oh yeah. Well, let's do this, Dave, because I like to try to get through as many questions as we can.
Yep,
I
go for
think
it.
in terms of his question, the bottom line of his question was, should we
Have hope.
should we have hope or not after yesterday's loss? I say yes. Dave, what's your final vote?
Yeah, I think we should have hope, but I really got to see better things out of the coaches. Because the thing is, I'm going to have hope because of the talent. 'Cause I think
Right.
the team's talented enough to do what they need to do. But it's
Okay.
all about schemes and coaching.
All right, so I'm going to go through some of the comments, but again, we love for you guys to join us on the show. So there's a link. Just scroll up if you don't see it. Actually, I'm going to paste it again right now. There's a link that you can click on. Come on the show, ask your question. We would love to see you. But meanwhile, let me get to one of these comments that came on here. What are your thoughts about the struggles on stopping the run? That was, I mean, Coach today talked about guys not being lined up correctly, and I didn't really like hearing that. Not that we're like deep into the season, but not being lined up at the start of a play, I think is pretty bad because that's the start of a play. You can't even get lined up right for what for what the offense is giving you. But tackling was a big part of that problem yesterday with the run. Is you can still be in position, but if you can't wrap up, and it was talking early in the week that they need to swarm tackle. You can't just get one guy on Chubb and hope to bring him down. This guy could stiff arm anybody and knock him down to the ground. So we definitely. I'm not, again, going back to the previous guy's questions. I'm not losing hope because of that tackling yesterday. I feel like these guys are grown men that could get pissed off enough, and coaches could get at them to get that tackling put together and make them watch that tape 20 times and embarrass them. They could hopefully get on track with that. Dave?
For me, it boils down to this, man. I've been very critical of how much the starters played during the preseason, and I think this is a factor of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's the things that I saw in game one that makes me think, kind of like when you talk about the bobble snap. We didn't even get into the bobble snaps, but like when you talk about the number of bobble snaps that we had yesterday during the game, those are the things that need to be those are the things that you take care of when you get in that game time. If you're not playing your guys, that's a factor. And the fact that when you talk about our front seven, I mean, they got to have time to mesh. We've always been struggling when it comes to running the ball. Ever since we've had this new regime, since Rule's gotten hired, we haven't been good at stopping the run. We've improved on stopping the pass, but we haven't been good at stopping the run. And I think that's gonna be something that we're gonna have to have a concern with throughout the year because we haven't really seen no improvements about it.
I think we had like an interesting stat from last year in that we were, what was it, respectable on the average yard per rush defensively.
Yeah.
But I think overall rush yardage was maybe just outside the top 10. But I think average yard per rush was below, or I guess I should say higher than a top 10 ranking. But nevertheless,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we were the second rated defense in the league last year too, weren't
yeah, yeah,
we?
yeah.
So it's all about perspective because when you got to think about the opportunities that the other teams got. I mean, because when you talk about second best defense in the league, it's about the yards that you give up. And at the time, we had a quarterback that was giving up so many turnovers, giving the defense a good field position. So defense didn't really have to, had to stop as much, so to speak. So then,
All right, let's
but
continue. Hey, we got some good comments here. Two of the best. That's
yeah,
just
man.
because anybody else ain't on, but I still appreciate the love because you see me here. I'll take my flowers while I'm here.
Look, man, you work, man. I caught you out there doing your thing yesterday, man. So
Did you really?
caught a portion of the video yesterday,
Hey.
right prior to I had to go live.
Man, that video yesterday, that pregame video, I'm not happy with, so sorry about the quality on the pregame stuff. I think Dave's going to break me off with a few stacks so I can upgrade a few pieces of technology. So look for some improved quality on the pregame. It is a little challenging, though, getting that pregame video good without spending a significant amount of money, but I'm committed to trying to figure that out. Postgame video was a lot better because we're able to use the stadium's internet at that point after the game, and we don't have 70,000 people that we're competing with. So, but thank you if you bear through that pregame video yesterday. What's this? Healed? I don't know what this
Heel
means,
Dave.
right?
Heel is like in wrestling terms, that's like a bad guy. So bad Dave or good Dave, because sometimes I'm very positive, sometimes not so much.
Hey.
So and same thing. It's the same thing with Rashad. So
Okay.
Rashad, I've been heel Dave most of the summer. So I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be very hopeful. I mean, I gave my my game prediction going into the season. So I'm trying to be very hopeful.
Okay. What's going on,
One of
Rodney?
the
Appreciate
one
you
of the
joining.
one of the wins I had did not happen yesterday. so it's not looking good, ladies and gentlemen.
Baker Mayfield said it's just one game, Dave. There's still 16 more to go. So if Baker feels like that, we know he's ultra competitive. You know, maybe not today,
Oh, no,
maybe by tomorrow.
I
You can
dig
feel
it.
that way.
I dig it. I dig it. And the thing is, for him, he's not thinking about the schedule like us fans are. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I look at the schedule and I see that to get to the wins that I had predicted, he needed to win this one because it doesn't get any better down the line.
Hey, that has
And
nothing
it
to
is
do
one a
with
week at a time.
that. It doesn't have anything to do with any wagers, does it? Doesn't have to do. You didn't do any
No.
futures, did you?
No futures. No futures this year. I'm just watching. I do daily for a reason. I make my decision the week of.
Hey, well, it's a Hampton Howie says, "What's up, Dave?" Curtis
up, Hampton?
King saying, "What's going on?" When will Matt Rule be fired? Hey, Dave, let me tell you this. I don't do much, but it was one that came across on the platform that I use, and Tom Brady had a half yard. So basically, it was a gimme, right? You're gonna say he's gonna do more than a half yard.
Yeah.
Anyway, they sent out a little message today. I guess it's having fun, of course, trying to encourage people to continue to play. They said over 200 people decided that they bet against Tom Brady getting 1 yard yesterday.
Yeah, I believe it.
Why?
That's the hatred in him.
I hope 175 accidentally was using the app for the first time and did not know what they were doing.
Yeah, nah, man. He's a polarizing figure. And let me tell you something. I have Tom Brady on a fantasy team. Thank goodness I didn't need him to win.
Yeah.
He did not impress.
ZZ said, when will Matt Rule be fired? So I know that hashtag was trending a little bit today. I'm going to answer the question because I love to work for you guys. Certainly he has the possibility. Right now, I'm not going to say that I think he's going to be in the consideration for that. It's the first game of the season. It certainly could happen. But once things start, the wheels on the bus, if they do fall off a little bit more, then I'll certainly enter giving some comments about the possibilities of him being fired. I don't think that he would go to the end of the season and then get fired. I feel like he's either going to get fired during the season or he's going to continue to be our coach for a number of years. But Dave, I'll let you take it.
We gotta unpack that a bit. That's interesting because so you don't think he'll get fired at the end of the season? You think if he's gonna get let go, it's gonna be during?
Just based on what I think would happen with the team, I feel like if he makes it to the end of the season, we probably had a good enough season. If you're not going to have him next year, then go ahead and get rid of him as soon as you know it, and let the world know that hey, Carolina Panthers are looking for a new coach.
Well, Rivera, Tepper's done this before. He did it with Rivera, but that was a different circumstance too. I think that boils down to him having the opportunity to hire his guy. Yeah, that's interesting. You know what I've been saying on Twitter, and I said it on Sheena and Vashti's halftime spaces too. Send him to Nebraska, bro. Just send him to Nebraska. Just send him to Nebraska. But
you ready for him to go there?
Just go ahead and send him to Nebraska. As a fan and a podcaster, YouTuber, I won't be mad. Just send him to Nebraska. I'm fine with an interim coach for the remainder of the year. So just send him. You already hired 2 former head coaches on your staff, so you got folks who've done the job before that you can make them interim till the end of the season. Just send him to Nebraska.
So you have a prediction on when he'll be fired?
I always attribute it to the bye week as the week that if it's going to happen during the season, it'll happen. I don't see them fire. Yeah, it's late. It's super late this year. I don't think they're going to remove him in a 1 week status unless they make the decision to just let him go on Monday after a game if it's really bad. But I do agree, like he can't. Like I was thinking prior to the schedule coming out, if the bye week was like week 5, week 6, something like to that effect, that's the timeline. If he's out here 0-4, 0-5, 1-4, whatever, they're gonna get him out in the paint during the bye week. So at least they give the new guy an opportunity to come up with a game plan and have 2 weeks to prepare for the next coach.
Okay. Tim Tizzy said, "What's up, Vibe? Appreciate you." They said, "What's up to you as well, Dave?"
All right. So I got I'm going to answer this question for Chunk. I have a Panthers pick and pool, and it's happening right now, but you're already out a week. unless I do have, look on Panther Nation PC on Twitter. I do have the eliminator pool, and you can pick between Denver and Seattle before kickoff happens tonight, and you can get in. Because after tonight, I'm locking it up because I don't want folks getting added in. Because I'm giving out a prize at the end of the season for both the pick'em, for the pigskin pick'em, and the eliminator challenge. So you can hop in on eliminator challenge and pick a game and pick between Denver and Seattle, and go from there. And then you can hop in for next week if that particular team wins.
There you go. There you go. What's up, Jonathan Fielder? Appreciate you joining us. Let's see. Tizzy asking you guys to hit the likes, which we do appreciate. I hadn't talked about that, but go ahead and hit the likes. Helps other Panther fans find out about what we do over here at Charlotte Vibe, as well as Panther Nation. Why didn't we freeze the kicker?
It was a long enough field goal. Why did we need to? I mean, if he would have kicked that 58-yard field goal, got it. He earned it. I mean, 50-yard field goals is hard. You know.
Hey, I'm gonna say we were saving that timeout for when we get the ball back.
Mm-hmm. You can roll with that if you like. I mean, freezing the kicker.
Does it ever work?
It does.
I think to freeze the kicker, you got to have it. You got to have good timing with it. Like if you do it too early, I think he might be like, whatever. I think it's like you want to try to get it where just right before he goes to kick it and it gets in this motion and then make him have to do it again. Were you at the stadium yesterday, Dave?
No, I wasn't. No. I think Rashad was. Rashad went to the game.
I don't know how loud it was anyway for the fans booing him to miss that kick. I kind of got focused in doing my job as far as the after game reporting, but I don't think that it was terribly loud at that point. I'm not sure, so I could be wrong. But I mean, to me, if you don't have a lot of crowd noise, there's still no point in freezing them if it's just.
I'm wondering. Did you were at the game? I'm guessing. Did fans leave after the first half?
Man, I had a lot going on yesterday, so I wasn't able to. I honestly don't have a recollection of what the stands looked like and how soon they were clearing out yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Rashad. I meant to ask him yesterday in the postgame, but I'll ask Rashad. But I know for a fact that he was telling me there was a lot of Browns fans in the stands, man. A lot.
Yeah, let me see if I can get to a picture that I took yesterday of the amount of Browns fans at the game yesterday. Let me see if I can quickly share that with you all.
I mean, that division travels, so I wasn't shocked when Rashad said it because that fan base within that entire division travels. So I don't know I can't remember who's the other home game in the AFC North that we have, but I pray it's not Pittsburgh because it's going to turn out. Yeah, because they travel everywhere. They'll take that stadium over.
Let's see here if I can share it with you. All right, here we go. I think I got some decent internet at the house. 3, 2, 1. Bam. That was the pregame view.
Of them. That's a lot of them, man. Especially up in the upper deck. That's a lot, man.
There's certainly an easy amount to see all that orange that you have.
I see more orange than blue. Yeah, I see more orange than blue, and they got the chairs. We can cheat with the chairs. See more orange than blue.
Yeah, so that was the view from the press box yesterday on the amount of Browns fans.
And it is and somebody said it is the Steelers. So okay, God. Yeah. Okay. Y'all, man, I don't live there. I don't live there anymore. Y'all got to show
Where you live at? I didn't know that you didn't live local, man. Where you at? Or is that another off camera? I need to ask Dave all these off camera questions.
I'm in Rhode Island, man. I've been in Rhode Island for 18 years now. I'm in New England. I'm in Patriots City. I'm in Patriots country. You know I enjoy them losing because I was at a bar, and there weren't that many Patriots fans at the bar when kickoff happened, but then they started coming in.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed seeing Miami beat the crap out of them yesterday because it was on most of the TVs.
I'm going to ask one more offbeat question, and then I'm going to try to be the man of the people along with you and get through a lot of these comments. I really like to pay attention to the comments, and I've been enjoying our conversation that I have been ignoring them, so I will not continue to ignore you. Dave, why do we have 8 captains on our team? Can you answer?
The same reason why we got 2 offensive centers and 2 starting quarterbacks for a long period of time during the preseason.
Did that annoy you? I know it can be considered small, but I'm like, we have 8 captains on the team.
It's normally like 5, right? 5 or 6.
5, maybe 6, and then you have a chance for a guy on a week basis to be counted as a captain. But why do you have 8?
Feelings.
What is
You
it?
think we got feelings?
8 feelings.
That's a lot. Yes, feelings. Nobody wants their feelings hurt. Just like there was a quarterback competition when they traded for Baker Mayfield. When we all knew what it was going to be.
To me, if you got 8 captains, then your team should be good. Your team should not come out under any circumstance. If you have 8 guys with a C on their chest that could chew any and everybody out because they are deemed a leader on this team, and you come out and you play the first half of the first game like that, that's terrible. You don't need 8 captains to be playing like that.
I'll argue having 8 captains is just excessive because now you don't know what direction to go. Like it's just like in corporate America, right? Like if you got all these chiefs and no Indians, no Native Americans, excuse me. You ain't. Now my wife's Native American, man. Like she'll kill me. So
okay, we don't want that.
You know what I'm saying? So
not on live YouTube.
Yeah, not on live YouTube. So when you got that going on, ain't nothing getting done. Nothing's happening. Somebody's got to be the workers at some point.
All right, we're gonna try to speed it up for the sake of these people out here. We'll just kind of alternate whoever wants to answer the question. Let's see, fellas, did you all feel like the bad first half comes from lack of preseason reps more than the actual competition? Because we looked a lot better in the second half. So I'm going to take over for this one because Dave already touched on it. Dave believes that the preseason, the guys not playing a lot, has something to do with it. I certainly would be willing to get on that bus with you and say, get these guys just a few more reps in the preseason, especially. And then I guess it kind of could be hard because other teams aren't always playing their starters, but I would even throw that out of the equation and say, just get them guys get in there and actually have to tackle a guy to the ground in somewhat of a meaningful situation, because even they played pretty good with New England when they were up there for the whole week. They're still saying, don't take them to the ground. Then you had all those stupid fights that broke out because somebody's mad that they actually hit the ground. But another story.
Keep it rolling. But while you get the next question up, but my big thing about that situation is this: like until the coaching staff realizes that the joint practices aren't the same as like actual in-game preseason reps, we're gonna always have this challenge. So maybe we should just have a year where we don't have joint practices. And maybe they'll be forced to play the starters during the preseason, because that's just reasoning whenever they ask the question of why the starters aren't playing in these games, because they feel like that the preseason reps is enough.
Yep. I can't say this name, but we can definitely get better and should have hope, but we got to keep it real. Losing to a Jacoby-led team is bad. Absolutely. Is a snapping always so terrible? Can those centers snap the ball? So I'm bullying you a little bit, David. I'm going to let you take a roll of some questions here.
No, you good.
With the snap thing, I feel like this. Baker Mayfield did a good job trying to keep his emotions in check this whole time, trying to be like a professional, trying not to be too, braggadocious and all this other stuff. And I think he wasn't able to control it all properly come Sunday, come the start of the game. To have that many botched snaps and you're, a 4th-year pro? Mm-hmm. How many years has he been in the league? That's
4th year. Same year. Yep.
That's nerve. I mean, I'd be willing to bet you that's nerve. Because anytime any other backup quarterback comes, you see that happen. It's not like, whoa, we've never seen that happen. But to happen throughout an almost entire game, and you have been a starting quarterback, you are not making sure that you have your hands on that ball before you go to do something else. And I think that he just had his nerves that were all over the place.
So here's my thing about that whole situation. Last night in the post game, me and Rashad talked about it, and he wanted to blame the refs day in, day out. And I said, well, if we knew how to snap the damn ball, we probably would have been able to kill the clock. And then they wouldn't have came down to the field goal. They wouldn't have had the chance. We could have killed the clock, killed the clock, kicked our field goal, and walked off and left just like they did to us. So we wouldn't have had to come down to the refs. So because we kept having so many botched snaps, and it happened during our drive before we kicked our field goal. And based on the numbers, Eflin took the heat for one of them, and I guess Baker took the heat for the other 3. So I didn't watch the film. I didn't go back and watch the film yet because I just had no interest in trying to look and see where it's at and which plays. And I just know.
You had the Bill Belichick mentality on to New York.
Yeah, on to New York. I just know that I think that could have been alleviated if they actually did more reps together in game with the crowd. Even if it's a preseason crowd, it would have helped. Normally you might see one in a whole game between both teams. We had at least 4.
It
If
was
I remember
terrible.
my counts were right.
It was too high. We only went in with 51 plays. Yeah, we didn't get too many plays. The referees' calls were poor. I'm going to keep on going. We need to stop acting like we're too cool to play in the preseason. We haven't won anything. We worried about injury instead of chemistry. It's a balance. Somewhere there's risk and reward. Hey, and again, like I'm going to continue to read through the comments. We only had one person join us on the show tonight. I put the link out there. If you have the time, would love for you to, on your phone, computer, whatever, hit the link. Bring you onto the show that you can ask Dave and I a question, and we'll entertain it. Barkley is going to run all over us.
I have him in fantasy in two leagues, one keeper, one regular. I don't want to. I want Carolina to win, but if Barkley runs for 150 yards and get 2 touchdowns and we still win, good day for me. Good day for me. I mean, real talk, man. Sunday, I had to convince somebody to play Nick Chubb, a Panthers fan, in fantasy because he wanted to bench him because we were going against Carolina, and I had to explain to him like what in our run defense convinces you that you should sit Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt. They both had great days because Kareem Hunt got 2 touchdowns.
It was bad. Is Barkley going to run over us, Dave?
Yep, he sure is.
5 drop snaps, 4 bat downs, 9 out of 50 plays going, almost 20%. Yeah, I mean.
Well, one of those bad snaps turned into almost a 30-yard game by Christian McCaffrey because he picked the ball up and ran it for 28 yards.
And you hear Rule today wanted to try to count that as part of the rushing. He said, because that doesn't count as a rushing stat. That counts as a fumbled yards. I forget what category it went into, but it did go into the rushing. I'm like, no, you can't conveniently try to put that into the rushing because it worked. It wasn't a design play like that. And Christian didn't, that wasn't what we're going to do. We didn't say, let's run the fumble Rooski. No, Christian lucked out, got the ball, and he ran it. So just be happy that happened because that was not the planned play. That wasn't part of your run. Because you say early in the first half, you had plans to get Christian the ball, but you couldn't. I didn't like that.
3 times, 3 carries in the first half. 3. Rashad was probably happy because he's been trying to reduce Christian McCaffrey's carries for a while now. 3 touches in the first half.
Hey, if we trying to reduce his carries that much, Dave, let's just go ahead and get some assets for the guy. I mean, do we have to pay him that much? If we trying to reduce his carries to like 3 in the first half, can we free up some money and get some other really good assets? There's no need to keep.
Shad, I don't know if Shad's watching, but he's not because he should be in class right now. But if he is watching, he thinks the number of touches that he got in that game was about where he wants it to be. He wants to split the work between the 3 backs. And my thing is, if you're paying that man all that money, he needs to touch the ball at least 20 times. Now, he don't need to touch it 30. I think 30 is kind of wild, but 20 to 25 touch range, I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. But 10 carries and I think 3 catches or 4 catches, that's way too low.
He had 33 yards with 1 big run on 10 plays. I think we should have run game, but we could not do it. It did not work. Yeah.
We didn't try.
Chunk says, shout out to Dave, Panther Nation podcast in the house. The Giants game is what's up?
That's Tony. I agree, Tony. That is absolutely the truth. This is a must-win for us. We cannot afford to lose this game.
Let me just tell you, on a personal note,
I'm flying out. I'm flying out to the Saints game. I am not flying. I'm not interested in walking into an 0-2 Panthers team going against the Saints.
You're not going to the Saints, or you are going to the Saints?
No, I'm flying out. I'm going for a vacation next week. So while I'm down there, I'm going to the Saints game with Rashad. So
okay.
So I'll be down there for that.
Well, I'm going to be in New York, and I really don't want to go to New York and have a loss. So just, if not just for me having a good trip, because I'm going up literally that day and coming back the same day.
You flying or driving?
I'm flying up.
Oh, okay.
So please, for all the hustle that I'm doing to continue to bring you guys coverage of the Carolina Panthers, let's get a win. Graham Gano, I love you, but no winning field goal kicks, please. Let's not do that.
Winning field goal kicks. Let's just make sure we stay in the game so our quarterback doesn't get benched like it was last year. How about we start there? Let's start there.
There's no way our quarterback gets benched in week 2. He won't do that.
He better not. I mean, he benched Sam, and I'm like, man.
Another shout out to Panther Nation from Trill 1. See, our third down defense and run defense has given us problems since last year. Also, it didn't look like our D-line was getting much push. Are you guys worried about our defense?
Where's the pass rush? Where's the pass rush? That's what we've been talking ever since we made the decision not sign Reddick. I'm concerned about the pass rush aspect of it. I think our secondary is going to come around. I'm not too worried about that. I think Shat Tops has been playing great. I think the rotation when Brandon Smith gets some action, it'll be good. So I'm not as worried about it. The only thing I'm worried about on the defensive side of the ball is the run defense. Because that's always been a thing with this regime. But other than that, I'm not as worried. I'm more worried about the offense right now, to be honest, based on what they're doing. So
they didn't do anything.
Well, in the second half, they did a lot. I will say that.
Let's see. Jonathan Fielder agreeing with Dave, saying we need to get these guys some preseason reps. My man Czar, actually, I'm not saying your name at all correctly, but appreciate all the comments that you're giving out here. Baker owns the Giants. Ooh, I'm definitely going to have to defer to Dave on that one because I know he's like a walking almanac. I don't know about Baker owning the Giants. Is that true?
I don't know if Baker's owned the Giants as a Carolina Panther because they haven't played yet. What he's owned when he was a Cleveland doesn't tell me a thing. And at most, he's probably only played them once, right? I mean, this is the 5th season. They only play the Giants once every 4 years. I mean,
yeah.
So I ain't rolling.
Chunk says, I think we have a ton to worry about. We're going 5-12 this year, no run defense, and we play good running backs this year. So I am not on this bandwagon with you, Chunk. Now, could it happen? Yeah, anything could happen. But right now, after one bad game, I'm not willing to say that the wheels on the bus are about to fall off. Again, I touched on it earlier. I feel like there's enough talent on this roster. I feel like there's enough coaches on that coaching staff to get things going better. And until I see this happening for like 3 games, maybe, I'm willing to say, though it was quite disappointing, it was quite sad. I was happy with that comeback. I do feel like a lot of that was due to the guys settling down, due to the coaches finally getting some things together, and continue. We can continue to ride that wave a little bit. And certainly now, if we lose in New York, and with the tough schedule that we have,
if we lose to New York,
it can start to snowball pretty quick.
If we lose to New York, it is going to be 5. Like I had us winning 7 games this year. I had us going 7-10. I said 7-10, and Rule keeps his job.
7-10, and he keeps his job.
Yep. Okay. He needs to win at least 7 games to keep his job.
7. Yeah. The Giants are good against the run, but have terrible secondary. I'm sure Rule will force the run now, and we will lose. Says Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, they'll probably try to. I think they'll probably try to sling it this game too. Tomorrow when I do my fantasy show, we're going to have a lot of talk about Christian McCaffrey and his usage. I got a lot of topics I got to go over tomorrow, man. Normally I try to keep that show to 30 minutes or less. I don't know if that's going to be possible tomorrow, but there's a lot to go over. A lot.
I think he has 3-year security in his contract. Talking about Coach Rule, I don't think so at all. He's already got. This is year 3 right here.
He's got 4 years left on his deal.
And this guy's getting paid quite a bit. He's almost
$9 million,
right? Yeah.
$9 million. He makes more. He's like he's a top 10. He's top 10 paid highest head coach.
Yeah.
In the top 10 when it comes to power.
If we're having like a 5-12 record, or again, we don't get on the right foot, I don't think that he makes it through the whole season. In my opinion, there's no reason to do that. Let's start to see what somebody else can do and start to search for somebody new. And I don't know. I just wouldn't want to see it. I guess that's the biggest thing. I just would not want to see Rule continue to coach this team if we are losing our butts off each week in and week out.
That'd be 5 consecutive years of 5-win seasons if that happens, man. That would be kind of crazy to think. But
Chance says that was a tough game to watch. The whole last 3 minutes, Matt Rule got out coached. It was terrible. I think he did good during the final parts of the game. There was some
the second half, the one positive thing, and I said this last night, the one positive thing I can say about the coaching staff from this game is that they actually adjusted for a change. Because normally going into the third quarter, we don't do no adjustments and we get blown out in the second half. Then the third quarter in particular, and then it's pretty much we're out of the game. I felt like they made adjustments and they corrected some things, and we played really well in the second half. But it goes back to having the ability to play a complete game. It wasn't just the final 3 minutes. For me, it was about the first 30.
First 48. It almost turned to the first 48.
Yeah, man. It was for me. It was about the first 30. Like I think after the first half, during the halftime spaces, I wanted him out of here. Like I said, I don't even need to see the second half because I legitimately thought at that point in time that he's gonna do his normal thing that he does in third quarter, don't adjust anything. We want to get blown out the water. And truth be told, we should have been getting blown out the water going into halftime, but Cleveland just couldn't. They didn't capitalize. It should have been much worse than what it was at the half.
Is Brandon Smith the answer at linebacker? I think he certainly has some potential. I mean, answer. I don't know if I'd be willing to go to the answer yet.
I love him. I thought he had a shot to start, bro. But at least he's in the rotation. He didn't get to play. But like I during the preseason when I saw the pick, I loved the pick. Probably my favorite pick of the draft. Outside of the first round, obviously. My favorite pick of the draft was him. Was Brandon Smith. Love him. He will be our starting linebacker very soon. Probably, wouldn't be shocked if he gets it by the end of the year, but if not, he'll be the starting linebacker next year.
Okay.
Not a doubt in my mind.
Just trying to go through these comments. We got a lot of them. Somebody said it was loud. I guess you're saying at the end of the game, as I was talking earlier about trying to freeze the kicker, about how loud it was.
Now, when a kicker goes out there and kick a 58-yard field goal for the game, I don't think it would have mattered, man. He just had it in him. He just had it in him.
So my man said he was there. It should be loud. The fans got loud. I was there, but the problem was the amount of Browns fans.
Yeah. I saw that picture. That picture all I needed to see. And Rashad said there was a lot of Browns fans in the stands too. So, yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. Let's see. What is this? I looked up.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that.
Okay.
I don't know who P&B Rock is, but condolences. I have no idea who that is. I'm a hip-hop head, man. No idea who that is.
What do you think about time management when we were in the red zone with 1:20 left?
It goes back to the bot snap for me. Because we lost a play. Each bot snap, in essence, you lose a play. Because everyone wasn't the Christian McCaffrey play. They were legitimately, you couldn't do nothing with it. Like, because at that point, your rhythm's off. If it's something where you got to go scramble to get the ball, somebody already over the line to touch you. So it's just, it's chaos when you have a bot snap like that. Because that was my thing. Like, the way that game ended probably could have been avoided if we didn't have that bot snap. Or at least they would have had less time for them to get down the field to get in the field goal range. So
the way the game ended was just dumb.
Yeah, I think the refs was the easy. The thing is, man, it's kind of like boxing or MMA, right? You never want to put it down to the judges.
Right, yeah.
And the way we played in that game, not just when we were in the red zone, but the first half, we let it come down to the refs. It should have never came down to that. That's my thing. You let Jacoby Brissett get a fourth quarter game winner on you. Some of y'all gave Teddy Bridgewater so much heat about when he was here.
Indeed.
You let Jacoby Brissett do it to us.
I think I might have just typed something wrong. I think Baker came out too jacked, didn't handle his emotions well earlier. I agree. What's the likelihood of Bowles starting after Elf continuously snapped the ball low? That's
not a given. Because based on the NFL statistics, it was more on the quarterback. So that's not a given. That's all on Eflin. Like, I gave Eflin a lot of heat last night, but I got to go back and watch and figure out if it was. And PFF only gave Eflin one fumble, not all four. So that might be on the quarterback. So,
can we say that Derek Brown is a bust? And where was the pass rush made toast?
Where's the pass rush is going to be the anthem for the season. And I can't call Derek Brown a bust until he plays through his third season. You got to give these players 3 years, man. This is his third year. We can't be out here calling folks a bust until he plays 3 full seasons. If you go back, and Rashad did a really good video a few months back about Derek Brown, and he compared it to other great defensive tackles in the league, like Ndamukong Suh. And when you start making those comparisons, Derek Brown is pretty much on the same track. We weren't calling the Gamakasuga bus after 2 years. So 3 years. Got to give him 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
Lots of good comments here. I'm getting hungry, man, Dave. I'm starting to fade. I skipped family dinner, and it's been a long day. But I'm gonna try to go through a few more before we get out of here.
Oh, somebody asked about the spike. It's funny because I went back and watched that part because I was in a bar, so I didn't get the game audio. But I guess there was he did a spike. He did like a pump fake, and then he spiked the ball. That should have been intentional grounding. Per the rules, it should have been intentional grounding.
Yep.
So, yeah, the refs blew that. But once again, you shouldn't leave it to the refs. Just like the unsportsmanlike conduct, roughing the passer was wrong too. So, can't leave it to the refs. You can't leave things to a judgment call. You just got to do your do your job and close this thing out. Like, we were lucky to be in the game to get to that point the way we played in the first half.
I think it was Baker yesterday that said, "Don't beat ourselves." And I was like, "Oh no, not the sign again! We're not going to bring the sand back." BBO and remember the brand. Remember the brand.
Respect the brand.
I don't want to go through that again.
DVO.
Yeah, so that spike. I mean, there was definitely some bad calls toward the end of the game. Up in the press box, it's a little hard to see things over replays to get a close-up view. But I do feel like, there were bad calls on both Brian Burns. It was bad lack of a call with the Jacoby Brissett, how he went to do the fake spike, but then spiked it. But yeah, if you play the game like you should have been playing the game for 4 quarters, it wouldn't have been as close like that. Things would not have been as dire as they were, where you put that in the hands of the referees. And, we did get the victory. We got the loss, 26-24. And now we're on to the Giants. So I am going to go ahead and wrap up the show here. Appreciate everybody for coming in. I guess I got to get my skills a little bit better because when I have P&P on the show, the comments are just way faster than I'm used to seeing. We got a ton of comments that I wasn't able to go to. And I usually like to, but this will take me a good another hour to come back through these comments.
Yeah, I did send the link out on my Twitter page. So, guys, if you for the P&P folks, if you haven't subscribed to Chris yet, you need to. You need to immediately. Because he's got some really good content. He really got some really good content. He gets to interview players way more than we get to do. And he gives them out for free, where you got to go on the wall with ours. So you need to go ahead and interview with you need to go ahead and follow. You got to go ahead and follow Chris, man.
Hey, Dave, anything you want to say in closing? Recaps about yesterday, about the future, anything like that?
Oh man, yesterday was a tough one for me, man. I had a tough weekend in general, man. My A&T played North Dakota State and got motorboated, so it was a tough weekend. It was a tough weekend for me. So I was hoping that the Panthers would come back with a win, and that didn't happen. So I just hope that the team reacts accordingly, and we don't see the same old stuff when we play the Giants on Sunday. But I don't think people should be comparing how great Baker's been against the Giants if he has. I don't have the stats in front of me, obviously. And the Giants that we have now, because the Giants that we have now has a brand new head coach. And it's obvious that he can coach. This ain't Joe Judge. We saw what happened when we had Joe Judge as the coach last year. He's no longer an NFL head coach. I couldn't even figure out how to be a coordinator prior to the season, which is why they got Matt Patricia calling the plays over in New England right now instead of him. So that's what we do. So I'm hoping we bounce back, man. That's all I can say. I know you need to go get your dinner.
Definitely hoping that we bounce back. Appreciate everybody that signed on. Players are off tomorrow, so we will not have any coverage tomorrow unless there's some breaking news that happens. So Tuesday's already off day. But I'll be back in the locker room on Wednesday. So continue to subscribe to the channel. Help us get to that next point of 6,000 subscribers. Really appreciate it. We are independent media, so any support of your subscriptions, your likes, your turn on the bell notifications so you can join us live when we go live will be greatly appreciated. I do love doing interviews with the players. I did something last week with talking with J.C. Horn. So for all those that are still watching, in previous years, I'll sit down like once a week with a player and do a video. But I feel like getting those guys in the locker room, I can get to more guys in the locker room, now that the locker room is back open versus the past. So let me know what you're liking. Did you like the old interviews where it's about a 15-minute show, talk, get to know the player, or would you like for me to get more interviews in the locker room throughout the week? I could talk to more guys, more star players as well, get some questions answered and get their outlook on how they've been doing in the game. So let me know. I work for you guys and love doing it. And Dave, thank you sincerely for taking the time out tonight. The link is in the description to join the Panther Nation podcast on YouTube. Excellent, guys. I would say they crank out more content than anybody. I don't know how they do it. I don't know when they get to sleep, but they have a ton of content.
The answer is Rashad. The answer is Rashad. It's Rashad. I have no, and the thing is, people always, there was a time where people were like, what does Dave do? And I'm like, well, Rashad. I just show up. I show up. I throw out ideas and stuff like that. But like, Rashad's the star when it comes to getting the content out during the week. Like when it's fantasy time, I'm in.
Right.
But in the off season, he's the rock star, and I tell those folks that all the time.
All right. Well, Dave, I will certainly be extending another invitation to the Panther Nation podcast for you guys to join us at least at the end of the season. I try to do one big show at the beginning and then a big one at the end. Hope you guys come back. But Dave, you're going to go again live tonight, right?
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Yeah, and I might actually in between, I might be on another show that's HBCU based, but I'm still trying to get that cleared up. Got to figure that out.
Hey, wow, man. You got an agent? You got an agent over there?
Nah, man. It's just, things that I'm passionate about, man. I try to get it in. This is I know for you, this is a full-time gig for you, but I think I have to remind folks that me and Rashad got full-time jobs. Like when I tell you I'm literally walking into the door, there'll be times where the theme song's running because Rashad starts the show, and when I tell you I'm literally walking in the door, I'm literally walking in the door.
Man, I did the same thing. I'm gonna see if I like to make I like to be personal with my coverage, let people know I love what I do. I don't pretend to be like some guy that's super intelligent. I'm lucky to have this job. I'm lucky to have these credentials, and I just like to bring content about the Panthers from what I feel like is an everyday guy's perspective that just has the lucky ability to have some credentials. Oh, he ain't dressed?
Yeah, man. Nah. I tell folks all the time. That you need to. Oh, here we go. We got to get a youngin in here.
There we go.
Drooly, yeah.
I gotta share the family with you. Cyrus, say what's up. He see mama, so he gonna want to go back. He's about to be 1 year old here shortly.
Okay.
And smelling fresh and clean. But this is why sometimes if I'm struggling, I had to get through all this, and I gotta go. I was gonna show you his chunky legs, but
we don't want no nudity now.
We don't want nudity. And then the other, he found a cord.
Yeah, he gonna shut you down, man.
And then the other guy in the back is we call him Middle C. We got a Boy Kingdom over here. So this is Little C. That's Middle C. Big C is in the Marines right now. He continues to make me a grandfather over and over.
Oh wow, man! How many grandkids you got now?
I got one, and then I got another one that's on the way. I think we got about 2 more months, and I'll be an old man with 2 grandkids and 3 kids, with my youngest being now. Okay, so my grandson he's turning 2 in a couple weeks. My son turned 1 in a couple weeks, and then I'll have a new grandson in a couple months. So go ahead and hit that donate button, hit that super chat button.
Yeah, man, you need to
get that.
You need to get that cash out popping on you. You need, instead of saying at Charlotte Vibe, it needs to be $sign Charlotte Vibe. Oh man.
We got the daycare costs going on because the wife works, doing her anyway. I just love to be.
You gotta tell me, man. You gotta tell me.
I just love to be What you got?
A 15-year-old and a 7-year-old and a 50. So in 3 years, I gotta pay for college. So, my brother has 5. My brother has 5 kids.
I just don't know how that works.
Well, he wanted to have a boy. So he
kept going.
Times, he kept going. And I said, you're gonna have to stop eventually, bro, because you're 15 years older than me. So I could do math. He gonna be out here paying for college in his 60s. Hey, you are too.
Come on, man, Mike. Why did you do
man,
the math on me, Dave?
Listen. I know. I'm just saying, like, if black don't crack, so you know, you might be rocking it. You might be rocking. You got a soon to be 1-year-old on the way in these streets.
Hey, I'm gonna end it on this. Two things. One is Neo. Appreciate you with the super chat, $5. Thank you very, very kindly. I really appreciate it. Dave, I was driving around tonight, and it was like, I forget what they call it now, but basically, you know how they're building these cool older people communities, 55 plus. But they're doing a lot of that in Charlotte anyway, like the cool active lifestyle 50. And I'm like, dang, I'm actually not too far away from that number. I'm like, I could actually be looking at that shortly, but right now I'm gonna continue to feel young and be like, yeah, they building old people
man,
cool
look,
community.
you gotta enjoy the young game, man. As long as you can. No, I'm serious, man. As long as you can, because I mean, I turned 40 this year. I turn 40 next month.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting how that's gonna go.
I look forward to the party invite, man.
There ain't gonna be no party, man. It'll probably be the simplest 40th ever. I might fly out to a game. I might just stay in. I might just chill. Just ask for a quiet day. Just another year. Another year, another day. My kids might do something for me, and that'll probably be it. The kids and wife, that might be it.
Hey, I gotta end it abruptly, else I'll never end it. For Dave of PNP and Chris Jenkins of Charlotte Vibe, appreciate you all. Have a good night, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. Peace, guys.